The Senate Intelligence Committee convened today to discuss a more than 6,000-page report on torture committed by the CIA during the George W. Bush administration. But the report's findings may not be released to the US public for a long time to come. Human rights groups want access to the report to bolster their efforts to hold the US government accountable, including for the detention and torture of US citizen Jose Padilla. On Capitol Hill, FSRN's Ollstein reports.
For more than 3 years, the Senate Intelligence Committee has been researching whether the CIA's use of enhanced interrogation yielded any useful information. Arizona Republican John McCain, a longtime critic of torture who participated in the investigation, said the report's findings will be definitive.
I've said they did not get any meaningful information by torturing people. That's based on all of the information that I have and the debriefings and the intel over the years. I've said it for years.
The committee will vote later this week on whether to approve the report, but that doesn't mean it will be publicly released. If the report is approved, senators, White House, and intelligence agencies would begin a review process that could span years and would decide what information can be safely revealed.
The only reason that really would remain for keeping much of this classified is to prevent the American public from knowing what was done in their name, and we think that's inappropriate.
That's retired Brigadier General David Irvine, one of the many veteran officers calling on the committee to make as much of the report public as possible. He said there's no excuse for secrecy on this issue because many of the actions in question happened a decade ago, and some of the information is already declassified. He recently delivered his group's message to California Democrat Dianne Feinstein, the chair of the committee considering the report.
We have condemned what are euphemistically called enhanced interrogation techniques, waterboarding, stress positions, forced nudity, sexual humiliation, beatings, drenching with cold water in cold temperatures, sleep deprivation for days at a time, sensory deprivation, singly and in combination as torture.
One person who was subjected to several of these techniques is U.S. citizen Jose Padilla, who was detained without trial and tortured for several years before being convicted of supporting terrorism. He tried to sue the Bush administration for violating his rights, but the U.S. Supreme Court rejected the petition multiple times over the past few years. On Tuesday, the American Civil Liberties Union and Yale Human Rights Clinic petitioned the Inter-American Court at the Organization of American States to review his case. Attorney Stephen Watt with the ACLU is representing Padilla.
What he's seeking in this proceeding is redress for his injury in the form of an explanation of why he was subjected to the mistreatment that he was, and an apology from the United States. This isn't about monetary compensation. It's about acknowledgement of the truth of what happened to him, which is something that U.S. courts have not afforded him.
The Senate report could reveal information that bolsters Padilla's case, including evidence that the U.S. violated international law by labeling Padilla and many others enemy combatants and using tactics banned by the UN Convention Against Torture. But Watt says the Senate's release of information must be followed by bringing those responsible to justice.
If you don't have accountability for past actions, there's a possibility that some ways down the line that this can all happen again. I mean, history shows that that's the case.
President Obama banned so-called enhanced interrogation when he came into office, but his administration has not prosecuted any of the officials responsible. The Intelligence Committee is expected to approve the report on the CIA's past use of torture this Thursday. Alice Ollstein, FSRN, Washington.